of two seemingly conflicting ideas, okay? We have peace and we have discomfort. And we have to figure out how to resolve them. This is what we call a paradox.
What does it mean to truly live? For one group of guys on YouTube, the answer was found in two simple words.
Seek discomfort.
Seek discomfort.
Seek discomfort.
Seek discomfort.
Seek discomfort.
Seeking discomfort.
Seek discomfort.
Seek discomfort.
Seek discomfort.
For nearly a decade, Yes Theory has been the golden standard of adventure on YouTube. Their philosophy was a global phenomenon, a call to arms against the mundane. It was a promise that life's more beautiful moments exist on the other side of fear, and they showed us what that looks like. But what happens when seeking discomfort is no longer a choice, but a job?
I don't know if I can come back.
Traveling constantly, not sleeping, doing all the stuff that I'd done for years was actually probably the worst thing I could do for how I'm built.
When the spectacular stunts and the grand adventures become a relentless treadmill.
I feel like already, just like very heavy-headed.
At what point does uniqueness and being sporadic become normalcy and routine? You see, when a philosophy of life becomes a brand, there is a human cost of living that brand every single day. This is the paradox of seeking discomfort. To understand their journey, we need to go back to the beginning, back to when their mission was pure, stakes were personal, and the definition of their philosophy was at its most idealistic. This was Project 30, a challenge to do 30 new things in 30 days.
My name is Thomas, and this is Matt, Amar, and Darren. We grew up in four corners of the world, but in the summer of 2015, we all met by total coincidence and bonded over a shared desire to do something different with our lives.
It wasn't a business plan. It was a personal quest from a universal feeling of being stuck. Their early work was built on a simple, radical belief that strangers are just family you haven't met yet.
Looks like another success, which is great.
Guys, we just got invited to a stranger's wedding.
These were the moments that defined their golden age. Small acts of courage that led to profound human connection. They weren't just making videos, they were answering a question that haunted them and in turn, their audience.
If you were 99 years old and on your deathbed, and you had a chance to come back to today, what would you do right now?
The philosophy of seeking discomfort is infectious. The audience grew, and with it, the opportunities. They moved to Venice, California, and what started as a passion project began to look like a media empire. But success creates its own gravity. The simple personal challenges that defined their beginnings started to feel small. You see, the pressure to escalate was immense. I mean, you now have built an audience that expects something more unique with higher stakes on every new video. This was the discomfort treadmill. To keep the audience engaged, to live up to the brand that they had built, every video had to be bigger, more spectacular, and more dangerous than the last. This wasn't just a feeling, it was a strategic reality, driven by the very platform that gave them their voices. It's how the algorithm works. The algorithm rewards scale, and scale requires a bigger budget, a bigger team, and a bigger personal toll. The mission of Seeking Discomfort was now locked in a feedback loop, with the business being creating content, and that pressure would inevitably lead to cracks in the foundation. The relentless pace, the constant performance, the blurring the lines between person and persona, it comes at a cost. The first public sign of that cost came when there was a departure of one of the founding members.
I don't know if I can come back.
This is crazy.
What's that?
I don't know if I can come back.
This is not clickbait, this is real and extremely complicated. I'm gonna let Darren explain later on in the episode exactly what's going on and why he will no longer be with us.
His departure was officially due to visa issues, but it was the first fracture in that original unit.
And I'm leaving in kind of a hurry.
A sign that the singular high growth path of the channel couldn't contain their individual journeys as founders. It's the reality of anything with a large team in life, but the most revealing moment would come years later from Matt, who had quietly stepped away from the channel.
So I haven't exactly been in many videos in the past 6 months. I was thinking about where to begin this video, and one thing came up, and it was thank you.
In his own words, Matt articulated the painful paradox at the core of his experience. He was, as he described it, performing, not living. The constant high stimulus life required by the brand was fundamentally at odds with his true nature.
My worry was that it was so boring. I was like, I don't want to be the freaking philosopher, you know? I want to be like influential and like exciting. Like being sensitive is not exciting. It's like, I saw it as being this weak thing. I started accepting that, you know, like that was kind of the first part of my personality that was like, oh, I am sensitive. You know, I built this thing, but that wasn't really me, and now I'm sensitive.
You see, these departures weren't just business decisions. They were deeply painful events that tested the friendship at the heart of Yes Theory. Years later, they would speak openly about the pain of that time, about rebuilding friendship they weren't sure would survive, and the human cost of it all was real, and it was felt by everyone. And as the channel matured, so did its creators. The relentless doing gave way to reflection. They began to publicly analyze the very philosophy of seeking discomfort. They were no longer just living seek discomfort, they were dissecting it, expanding its definition beyond thrill seeking and acknowledging the complexity of the entire philosophy. But the paradox of their existence would soon manifest in a very public crisis. The incident involved a participant who had lied to be featured in a first-time flying video. And I mean, not to sidestep here, but funny enough, I have one of the top first-time flying videos on YouTube, and mine's very authentic. Just wanted to throw that out there. But you see, the fallout of this specific incident forced the team to confront a very painful reality. Referring to it as characters in one of your favorite shows was a stunning admission. The line between authentic experience and performance had become so blurred that it affected the very connections they sought to create. When seeking discomfort becomes your job, it is no longer a break from your routine. It is your routine. Not just a routine, a show, a brand, an entire enterprise. Alongside the philosophical evolution was a commercial one. The mantra of seeking discomfort was codified into a powerful brand. The clothing line, which I'm wearing right now and own a lot of, was more than just merchandise. It's a badge of honor, allowing millions of followers to purchase a piece of that lifestyle. But the business behind this whole brand is far more sophisticated than what most viewers realize. You see, this wasn't just a YouTube channel anymore. It was a multi-million-dollar enterprise, a testament to Yes Theory's incredible success and entrepreneurial savvy, and the four friends from Montreal were now at the helm of a global media company. They discovered a new frontier of discomfort, one that was arguably more challenging than any physical feat.
So what would happen if you stepped into a prolonged period of darkness, silence, and solitude where the mind is left completely alone? In this scenario, an unplugging from all the overstimulation by entering what is known as a darkness retreat for 5 days.
The darkness retreat was a 180-degree turn. The discomfort was no longer about action, but its opposite: silence, sensory deprivation, stillness.
As Amar was describing, to take a step back from our thoughts and emotions to instead observe them without judgment, we need to seek out more mindfulness.
This is now the new seeking discomfort, an internal exploration. This new philosophy was even applied to their most extreme physical change.
I've never been so broken in my life, both physically and mentally.
You guys need to know
how I get warm and how I keep on going, because I'm not gonna stop this.
The goal of Project Iceman was to prove that limitations are only perceptions. Success came not just from physical power, but mental focus, resilience, and the ability to find calm within the storm. But this pivot to stillness wasn't easy. For men who were wired for action, the greatest challenge of all was learning to sit still. The journey of Yes Theory is a story of evolution. From a personal project to a global movement. From external spectacle to internal exploration. Through burnout, fractures, and incredible success, they arrived at a more mature, more sustainable understanding of their own philosophy. And they defeated the concept of the seeking discomfort paradox. This is the answer to the paradox. Discomfort is not an end in itself, it is a tool, and like any tool, it is useless without the time and space to use it properly. The goal was never endless struggle. Perhaps the ultimate purpose of seeking discomfort is simply this: to arrive at a place of peace, a place of deeper connection, not just with the world, but with yourself. To understand that the greatest adventure isn't just about what you do, but about what you become in the process, which technically means we all need to continue to seek discomfort.